Today I got the 65 on the lift, and I'm going to look at doing floor pans. We'll give it a once over again and get started. Picked up this car not too long ago. Had to drive a few hours to get it. Three Rivers, Michigan, I think. I already did a walk around once when I was there. So if you've seen that video, then this is pretty much the same thing. I'm going to get these seats out. Back seats out. The header, or the roof looks pretty good in here. The headliner. Haven't been under it yet, so you get to see underneath it. There's a little damage there. And then we got this here. Looks like something hit it. It's got some bubbles. Some old body work probably right there. Paint's flaking off, so I don't think it's the original paint job. Let's get underneath this thing. This is my first time seeing it too. Floor pans are definitely shot. Oh man, it might need a whole new floor pan, and I only bought the pieces. They've been fixed once before. What I bought only goes to here. Or well, no, maybe it goes back to here. So I might have to cut out and put some patch metal in some places. Looks like the tunnel's been repaired too. I think I got these pieces here. And I believe I've got these pieces. I'm not certain though. That's pretty bad. The front of the car seems pretty solid. When you get into here, you get some damage, but like I said, I think I've got those right there. So I gotta figure out. Look at that. That's from ductwork for a house. So I got those. And I don't know if those are going to be enough. Looks like I got quite extensive repair work to do here. See if I get the camera in there. Away from the light, or the sunlight. That is supporting the spring, and that is no good. Although we're gonna have to do something with that stuff. That's just as bad right there. That's really bad. And if I'm going to go through that much trouble, I might just try to relocate the springs altogether, because some people are moving the springs on the other side so that they can get wider wheels in. And if that's going to be something that needs to be done, I might as well look at that. These boxes don't seem so bad, but I want to see about moving that spring on the other side here and then running it across here and bolting it to this instead. Just move this over here. I'm gonna have to cut all that out and replace it. This is brake line here, attaches to the axle, and I don't think that's the original location, but could be because it's in one of these. And this is the original fuel line, and it runs around and up there. And I'm probably just going to replace this whole fuel line. And it bends and twists and goes that way, and then bends there. Comes up around here and into the side here, and then shoots over to the pump, I guess. I'll need that later. I'll probably forget how it ran. Okay, those are the bolts for the seats right there. I got replacements for those pans too, the seat pans. It looks like someone may have already replaced them once, I don't know. They're riveted anyway, right there. with this saw. And it takes a long time and it's hard to get a camera in here. So I put the plate in, I put that in, and I traced it. And since it sinks down a bunch when you push on it, I figured once this metal's out of the way, it's pushed down a lot further. So I went 1.5 inches, maybe a little more, down, just in case, because I don't want to have to put metal back. And I'm going to just continue cutting around here, and then I got to clean up this mess here and piece it in. So I use this saw, rip up this middle of this brace. That was either cut like that before somebody else, because I finished wasn't before. And then I'm going to take the chisel hammer and just separate there's a separate that with the chisel hammer, just like I did here. I just ran the chisel up around like this, beat the stuff up, and the chisel really does a good job. So that's what I'm going to do there. Let's fit it in there. I want to get it flush. It's overlapping by about 1/2 inch. It did drop down further than what, it did the first time before I cut everything out. So I guess I could trace that again and then cut that. I'd like to get it flush instead of overlapping. That'd be nice. But that'd also be a lot harder. People have been screwing them in and then riveting them in and then welding across it. And then I could probably go underneath and do the same, I suppose. See there? Now, I could just push that in and weld it. Maybe even beat it in with a hammer in some places to get it to touch. And suck it in and weld it. And then I could probably put a brace under here, like a angle iron or something. So I'd like it to be a little bit higher. And then I don't want that curves up in there, and it leaves room for stuff to get in there and rust. So I don't really like that. I do got some holes I could be filling. Then I'm going to have to figure out how to patch that. I got those pieces right there that are supposed to be for all the way up to the firewall that go all the way up to here. But I'm kind of afraid that if I detach this, that it's gonna move. I'm not sure if it will or not, but because it's got that support up there. But I really didn't want to take the chance that it moves, especially since that's pretty solid there. So I might just get some sheet metal and fix that hole for one, and then patch that in. Alright, I got that patched in. Now time to put that brace on. Alright, I got it in. I'm gonna have to take everything back out though, because I'm gonna have to drill a bunch of holes here so I can plug weld these on both sides and on the bottom. And then I gotta take the floor out, and I gotta push this over like that and weld it, because I'm pretty sure this didn't move. even though this wants to be here. I don't know. I maybe should force that way or not, because that's clearly straight with the beam. So everything's mocked up, and I'm gonna quit for the day. I got right there, obviously, and you can't see it very well, but back there in that corner, in this corner, it's rusted through, and I really should have just got a full floor pan. So I'm gonna see what pieces I can get to make this work, but right here where I weld, there's a hole. It's thick, but there's a hole right there. It's solid too, so I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do here. But I either need to patch this stuff or get new floor pans, and I'm not sure which would be the best thing to do because of the way it might not tie in. I don't know if it'll tie into the other pieces. I have to research it. Another rusted through part. I'm gonna do the same I did on the other side. Grind these off and cut a hole here and put a patch piece in. Then I got that stuff in there I need to figure out. And that there I need to figure out. And that, make all that good metal before I move on. Okay, I got all that patched. You can hardly tell what the new metal is, but the new metal's right there. It goes up like that. It was this stuff here. I just put it in like that and up like that. Not quite sure how I'm gonna patch right there though, because that's like a stamped panel. I fixed part of it. That took me a lot longer than I want to admit. And the welding sucks. I definitely wouldn't want to try to teach anybody how to do that. But it's solid. And you won't see it. Alright, so we got this, which I think is pretty neat. It's going to mount somewhere in here to do a 4-link, so all the suspension stuff is going to be from the axle forward instead of using the leaf springs, which means I don't really need this unless I wanted to save it for if somebody else wanted to go back to stock. But this is kind of thin, see, and it's got holes in it. So I'm considering just cutting that out. You know, maybe cut straight down right here and across and just get rid of all that and peel it off of the side right here, and then add tin for a floor. And that would put this, you know, right here, still below the floor. So that's what I'm thinking I'll do. But I'm gonna think on it real long and hard first. Well, leaving this rear end in is pointless because it's not centered. It's rotten here. It's rotten there. And I don't think I can trust it to build anything off of. Anyway, it is sitting level now, but when the weight of the car was on it, it wasn't. So I think I could probably put an axle on tires and put it under there on jack stands to do the mock-up. So I think I'm just gonna cut this rear end out of here. Stands, right? Jack stands. And what I thought would happen did happen. The front sagged. And it made that body line not straight. So what I done is I took these adjustable jack stands and put them here. That's where the car was. And I jacked it up to make the line straight. I'll just adjust this up and this will hold it in place. And I did notice though, I could do it by hand even. I took my hand and put it on the bumper and lifted up on the bumper, and this rocked. So before I go welding stuff, I need to make sure everything's straight. Though I'm pretty far from welding. I put these in because I was like, well, I better see how these fit. And then now I'm realizing that cross member I was planning on putting here is going to have to be here. So I'm going to have to keep this and this torque box to make these frame connectors work. But the good thing about the frame connectors is then when I weld to this, it's gonna transfer the load up there to the front, and so this it'll help with the torque, because all that leverage will be on there, and that could be welded right here, going across to right there. Although this X bolts in right here, and right here, the X that you're going to see later. I'm going to have to consider that too. So I just got to get everything test fitted and straight. I dropped the front end down and marked it and then raised it back up. It's off the jack stands on both sides in front, right here. And that's the difference. So it makes a difference. And I've been getting level off of that line, and right here, mostly because I can do that on both sides. So I realize that I'm pretty sure that it's not going to move much once I weld it. So I got to get the body line right before I tack them in. So I've been playing with it up and down and trying to figure out where the best spot is. Alright, the frame connectors are welded, and it's not the perfect welds, obviously, I always say, but they'll work. And it's off the jacks in the front, and the line stayed. So I'm happy. Now on to something else. Alright, it's together. It's all welded in and solid. And still got to put the loop on right here. But I think that the cross member will fit right here. The 3x2 right there and across, and then a loop right here. So 3x2 across to a loop to a 3x2. Yep, it's gonna work, I think.